Greetings, greetings, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome wherever it is that you are joining from this morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Dr. Daphne Clarke-Hudson. I am a spiritual healer. I am your why and soul purpose coach, consultant, and mentor. I go live 7 days a week and I do my best to add value, to provide content that will allow you to empower and transform yourselves. There are times when you will also receive toolkits and keys to help you to be more resilient. All right? If you are not already doing so, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on LinkedIn. Follow me on Instagram. Connect with me on Facebook, Twitter, Clubhouse, and Clapper. I have a few announcements this morning. I want to invite you to check out my Say Yes series on TikTok. I've completed the 365 days of gratitude that I did on TikTok for the past 365 days. And I have now replaced that time slot with the Say Yes series. What that means, every day I choose something to say yes for. And today I chose to say yes to silence and the power of silence. And I'm also going to be teaching that here in this live broadcast. I have been invited to continue my TV show in Connecticut, and I will be seeking out those of you who have amazing stories to share. My show is called A New Day, Your Guide to Personal Empowerment. All right? So keep your ears tuned to when I will announce that. I didn't understand that. I also want to tell you that I am looking to pre-sell the journals, the limited edition gratitude journal. So if you are interested, direct message me to get the details. Also, we will be doing the water therapy this morning before we end the live. So get your water and have your water ready to participate in the water therapy. All right, so I think those are my announcements. Again, for those of you that have just joined, I am Dr. Daphne Clarke-Hudson. I'm a spiritual healer, and I'm also your why and soul purpose coach, consultant, mentor, and guide. Those of you who would like to work with me, kindly text me from the number that's in my bio. And the number is 203-885-5093. 203-885-5093. All right, so do not underestimate the power of silence. The power of silence. Hey, Amber, greetings. It was many years ago, round about between 15 and 18 years ago, that silence became an integral part of who I am. And I will give you some history surrounding my first involvement with silence. I was introduced to an organization known as the Bahara Kumari in Haynes Falls, New York. That's upstate New York, by a dear friend called Pinakin Patel. Those of you who, if you're Indian, and you probably are accustomed to the Bahara Kumari because their headquarters is in India. And the Bahara Kumari offer retreats, and the retreats are always attended by people from all over the world. So I was blessed on several occasions to attend the retreats there on their property in Haynes Falls, New York. They have a campus. It's about 300 plus acres. And that was my first time experiencing silence. I had no experience what silence was. And I went for a 3-day retreat where for the 3 days we conduct everything in silence. From we went there Thursday night through when we left there on Sunday. The only time that we spoke was at the closing ceremony at the end of the retreat. And I tell you, there were some adults there who it was extremely challenging for them to conduct themselves in silence. So those who really wanted the benefit of silence and those who wanted to learn more about the power of silence had to really focus on getting through the 3 days. And for me, it was such an amazing turnaround. For my very first day, for the first 2 hours, it was challenging for me to understand that when someone came up to talk to me during that time, that it was not disrespectful not to answer the person. Hey, Atina. However, as we moved through that weekend, I developed the skills the understanding and the know-how to just recognize them with a big old smile. Sometimes just a kiss, to honor whatever they said to me and to continue in the ritual of silence. And I tell you, this is such an important part of who I am and who I have become. Silence has enriched my life. Silence has allowed me to personally develop more. Silence has allowed me to engage in some powerful communication that I did not have to utter a word. Silence has allowed me to connect spiritually and emotionally with some of the most amazing individuals. Had it not been for my involvement with the Bora Kamari community, I would not have ended up with this amazing tool in my lifelong toolbox. So as I took the time to share with you my personal experience of silence, look around in your communities, wherever you are. Seek out places that are probably offering these retreats that you can personally go and have the experience for yourself. It is worth the investment. And as I continued this teaching this morning, I was blessed to find a Harvard University study that I want to share so you can get an Ivy League aspect and outlook on the practice of silence. All right? So we are at 6:12 a.m. and between 6:30 a.m. and 6:45 a.m. we will be doing the water therapy. It is, I just said the time, 6:12 a.m. All right? So, and if there's anyone on TikTok who has an experience with silence, I ask you to be prepared to go in the box when I come back over there so you can share your experience. For those of you that are on Facebook watching and YouTube, go ahead and type your experience in the comment section if you at all have any experience with that. I know if my friend Alicia is on, go ahead and type your experience because I know you have been up there with me as well. And I know sometimes you're watching on Facebook. All right? So, all right. So, the Harvard the Harvard study that I'm sharing was done by Vijay, Vijay, Vijay Iswaran, Eswaran. So, you all know Harvard University is an Ivy League university. And if they are investing in research on silence, we as entrepreneurs should listen. So here it goes. It says, last year, let me tell you the date of this research. This is fairly new. This is done July 22nd, 2021. So listen up. Last year, referring to 2020, the world went into lockdown and our lives changed dramatically. I'm so tired was already a status symbol, but burnt out and its long-lasting impact on our health has increased. The lines between work and play have blurred. Blurry, we can't see. This may be most true for the youngest generation. What are they called? What we are millennial. What are they? The Gen Zers. Students have not been back in a physical classroom for more than a year. New graduates are stepping into an economic downturn, and the workforce itself is changing. Even as some regions slowly open up, the pile of uncertainty reigns. I work closely with many young people as a part of my personal mission to guide the next generation of leaders, Vijay says, who I believe have the potential.
I didn't understand that.
I touched something here. Young people who have, where am I? Give me a minute to find my spot. Students who have been to the physical classroom, graduates, even in some regions have become so open up. Okay, I work closely with many young people as a part of my personal mission to guide the next generation of leaders who I believe has the potential to shape a better world for the future. Over 50% of my company's workforce comprise of millennials. That's us, right? And in the pre-COVID world, we offered an ongoing in-person mentoring program. Over the last year, many of my colleagues and mentees have reached out to me expressing feelings of frustration and angst. My advice to them always begin with reassurance. Though many of us think we are alone in our feelings, they are not unusual or uncommon. To get through a difficult phase over which we have no control, we can focus on something over which we have control. You have probably heard these words of wisdom before, but do you know how to apply them? For over 40 years, over 30 years, excuse me, I have started my day with a 60 minutes routine to help me stay grounded. 60 minutes, guys, 1 hour. And there are many of you who are saying you cannot do 10 or 15 minutes. Vijay, for the past 30 years, has been doing 60 minutes routine to help me stay grounded, focused, and most importantly, remain hopeful when my mind wants to spiral. I call it to despair, SPHERE, of silence. This is Harvard University, guys. 60 minutes. The sphere of silence. When I was a child, my grandfather lived with me and my family. Every morning, he would wake up at the crack of dawn and sit in complete silence for an hour. Guys, are you hearing? Even as the rest of the house stirred awake and the various morning rituals unfold around him, he stayed still and quiet. Nothing could distract him during that time. He referred to it as the Mount, Mouna, the Mona, VRATHAM. That's the name, that's what his grandfather calls it. Mouna, the Mona, Viratham, VRATHAM. A ritual of meditative silence. Long practice in Indian Hindu tradition. Remember, I shared my personal experience with you guys? He believed that abstaining from speaking for a period each day brought him inner peace and made him a better listener. Listen, guys, if we end this broadcast right here now, it would have been worth your while to listen. Is this powerful or what? Over the years, as I traveled to different parts of the world, initially for education and then later for work, I discovered that a ritual practice of silence is not unique to any religion or culture. Christianity, Judaism, Islam have all advocated the practice of silence in one form or another. Hey, Sonia, how are you, Queen? Although my grandfather taught me the practice at a young age, it was many years before I truly learned to appreciate it. After completing my university education in London, I took a gap year to travel through Europe and spend some time in Italy, where I stayed at the Franciscan Friary for some time. I arrived just before Lent and discovered what the brothers at the ferry would spend the entire 40 days prior in silence. I'm getting chills, guys. I am getting chills as I read this. I was encouraged to follow the practice. It was one of the hardest things I have ever experienced. When you are forced to be silent, you have to find another way to communicate, which means you have to keep your message simply, very simple. This forces you to declutter your thought process. It was during these weeks that I learned what silence is not. It's not just prayer. The universe, the spirit just dropped in my memory that I personally met another friend who went silent for a full year. I hope I get to invite him again to interview him on my TV show. I forgot about him. Being silent allows us to channel our energies. It gives us the clarity we need to calmly face challenges and uncertainties. Tap the screen, guys, and share the live. The hour of silence I practice each morning and evening, you have to practice as well, can be a time for collecting our thoughts, training our minds, and deciding how we want to enter into the day. Tap the screen, guys. Share the live. Invite some people. The routine. The sphere of silence is broken into 3 segments of 30 minutes, 20 minutes, and 10 minutes each. If you are just starting out, you can try a shorter version by slicing time off each of the segments, but I highly recommend working your way up to the complete 60 minutes for optimal benefits. Your aim should be complete a 21-day cycle without any breaks. When you start, you will think it is easy. Then the initial inspiration will fade into reality, will set in. Fight through the phase and stick to the routine. Forming a habit takes time, but eventually it will become second nature. When I first began practicing the sphere of silence regularly, some of the earliest stages I noticed within myself came around that 21-day mark. The prep. The ground rule, as the name indicates, is to keep complete silence the entire 60 minutes. Practice must be done with no distraction from the outside world. So, switch off all your devices and find a quiet spot away from others. Have a journal and a pen ready. Also, pick up a book you haven't been meaning to read for a while and set it near you. While you don't necessarily have to practice the sphere of silence in the morning, I have found that doing so gives me a boost of productivity and calm that helps me combat the stresses of the day. The first 30 minutes goal. My experience at the ferry inspired the process for this first segment of the practice. which is also most important. I have broken it down into 3 minutes, into 3 10 minutes sets. Pick up your journal and spend the first 10 minutes writing your short term, medium term, or long term goals. Then dedicate the next 10 minutes to accessing your progress on the goals and set your previous day. When you write your goals down, you are forced to be very clear about what you want to accomplish. Then do this every morning. You are waking up to those goals, asking questions about your progress, and recalibrating your plans if needed. This will motivate you to focus on moving forward and complete the task necessary for achieving whatever success looks like to you. Use the final 10 minutes to take note of any unmet goals, especially short-term or daily goals, and assess the reasons why you have not achieved them. The events of tomorrow develop from what you do today. So, understanding yesterday is the key to shaping tomorrow. The next 10 minutes, learning and growing. The next 20 minutes, excuse me. This is when you pick up the book you bought many moons ago, but never got around to reading. The ground rule for this segment is to choose a book that teaches you new things and enriches your mind. When you make reading a part of your morning routine, when your mind is rested and fresh and ready to absorb new ideas, you begin your day filled with motivation as opposed to fear of the unknown. This part of the process was adopted from my times at the Ramaskashan mission in Singapore, where I stayed after completing high school. The mission is a prominent global welfare and spiritual organization that is involved in charitable activities around the world. As a part of my duties as an apprentice, I had to read a set of books and summarize them in the library. In the library's catalog. If I had questions, I had to note them down and discuss them during mealtime with the elders. This is where I developed the habit of reading in complete silence and taking down notes as I read. I found that by writing down my learnings and insights, I was able to come up with action points, implement into my own life based on the ideas of the book. So, spend the first 10 minutes of this step reading a chapter of the book. Then, use the remaining 10 minutes to write down the summary of what you have just read by hand. By the time you finish the book, you will have engaged in an extra layer of processing, allowing for deeper retention and analysis and strengthening your short-term memory. All right, guys, let us take a pause and do the water therapy. This is good stuff, guys. I hope you are thinking and knowing how good this is. Good morning, good vibes. I hope you're all right. So bless your water. And I'm just giving gratitude to the universe for allowing me to find this research to support the silence when it was downloaded to me. I just love what I do. I just love what I do every day, to wake up and to learn something new. I'm so excited that the universe is using me in this amazing way, and for my willingness to continue to learn so that I can impart to you guys. I just love this place that the universe has brought me to. Bless your water. Give thanks for all of the new experiences. And I ask that this water will support and enhance our ability to devote time of silence, to enhance our lives, to empower our lives, to help us to empower and enhance the lives of others. Let's drink. All right, let's move along, guys. The final 10 minutes is mindfulness. This final segment is an important grounding process, like a cool down after a workout. Use these 10 minutes for self-reflection. And if you believe in a higher power for communicating with God, the universe, your spirituality, and whatever you prefer, all you religious people, you hear? Let me read this part again. I hope you all can send a message so they don't come on my live to bully people. This final segment is important for a grounding process, like a cool down after a good workout. Use these last 10 minutes for self-reflection and if you believe in a higher power is also known by these names, you religious people that's coming in here with brimstone and fire. Higher power is also known by these terms. For communicating with God, the universe, your spirituality, or whatever you prefer. My grandfather inspired this final process for him. That hour of silence each morning held a spiritual dimension that led up to his daily morning prayers. The approach is entirely up to you, but the object of this segment is to be present and pay attention to your feelings. The added benefit of silence, it is to act, it is, oh, I'm so excited about this. The added benefit of silence is it acts as a natural filter to your thoughts. It gives you time to think about what you are feeling and what those feelings mean to you. I have realized that this part of the practice is also a powerful way to deal with anger. It allows you to harness calm during stressful situation and mindful choice to stay out of negativity. The results. When you practice the sphere of silence without a break for 21 days, you will likely notice immediate changes in how you perceive the world around you. Begin to acquire an intense insight into everything you do and find a greater sense of balance. Many of us have forgotten or even fear quiet. We live in a world full of noise and chatter, A world where our daily routines are inundated with distractions and responsibilities. This practice is an investment in yourself. It is a way to take control of the remaining 23 hours of your day. Projecting the day in your mind before it begins, making decisions and watching them manifest. All these things have a part, all these things have a deeper purpose than simple taking control. When you see your wisdom, when you see your vision come to life, this ultimately gives you confidence and a deeper understanding of who you are. You learn to trust yourself and able to count on your decisions, feel more secure amid the noise and uncertainties around you. Isn't that amazing? So let me read and let you know how Vijay, who Vijay is. Vijay, ESWARAM, he's an entrepreneur, a motivational speaker, a philanthropist, and the author of the best-selling book, In Despair of Silence. And I have to get that book because I don't have it. He's an economist by training. He is the founder of the multi-million-dollar global business, a well-known thought leader in Asian leadership. In Asia, he has written and spoken intensively about business, leadership, personal development, and life management. For more of his writing and videos, please follow him on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. So guys, check out Vijay. I'm going to write his name in in the YouTube. Hey Jen, I wasn't even seeing you. I was so taken up by this, guys. Go ahead and write Vijay's name. Vijay. And of course, I have to go look out for him on Instagram and connect with him too. ESWARAN. All right, guys. So check him out. FOLLOW. Follow him on SOCIAN, social media. Yeah. All right, guys. So, hey, Anthony, how are you? I hope this was worth your time. My YouTube went over an hour, but this was worth it. Again, if you are not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and all of my other platforms. And also, please text me at 203-885-5093 so that we can get together, so that I can help you out. I'll be coming back on TikTok, but let me just end over here. Thank you, Jen, for joining me over on YouTube. I really appreciate your love and support, my sister. Listen, guys, reach out, connect, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning right back here on StreamYard. Love you guys.